Hello everyone, welcome back to Sawdust and Circuits. Today is part thrift store find and part repair project. I picked up this case for $14.99 and all the tag said was sewing machine. The question was, what sewing machine? Well, inside was something pretty special. A Singer 221 Featherweight. Based on the paperwork and overall condition, I'm guessing this one is from the late 1950s and early 1960s. The Singer 221 was introduced in the 1930s and became one of the most popular portable sewing machines. Even today, they're highly sought after because they're simple, reliable, and surprisingly well built. And this one is about as complete as you can find. We've got the manuals, accessories, attachments, service oil, extra bobbins, and it even came with the original key for the case. Not bad for $15. Let's take a closer look. I've always thought these machines were cool. The black enamel finish, the chrome details, and the way everything folds up into a portable case. It just feels like it came from a time when things were made to last. Honestly, this machine will probably outlive all of us. The folding bed mechanism is neat, and under there you can see the bobbin. Mechanically, everything looks pretty good, but I've already spotted one problem. Take a look at the drive belt. Yeah, that is not healthy. See all the cracks in it? Fortunately, replacement belts are easy to find and are only about $6. So that's not a major issue here. Now I do know a little bit about sewing, just enough to be dangerous. Or at least as dangerous as you can be with a sewing machine. My main machine is actually an industrial sewing machine for upholstery work. So using something this small is a bit different. Let's see what accessories this came with. We have several presser feet, extra bobbins, some thread. If you enjoy thrift store finds, repair videos, and 3D builds, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really does help a small channel grow. Now let's see if this still runs. I was pleasantly surprised that the power cord is still flexible. A lot of machines this old have turned to dust. The bobbin already has thread in it. So we're just going to trust whoever last used the machine and see what happens. Now I don't know the exact thread path of a Singer 221, but thankfully it's pretty logical. Now I was playing with this for a little while before I noticed that the needle has a small crack in it. I kept testing it and the thread was somehow coming out of the needle without breaking. Maybe the needle is broken, or maybe this is David Blaine's sewing machine. Now with the machine threaded and running, it's finally time for a test. So naturally, I made the world's smallest pillow and possibly the world's worst pillow. The stitches actually look pretty decent, considering the age of the machine and the fact that I was completely winging it. If you're not at all familiar with sewing, most seams are normally finished with a reverse stitch, or a lock stitch. That helps keep them from unraveling. Now this pillow is not going to win any sewing awards, but the important thing is the machine works. So was the Singer 221 Featherweight a good find or a bust? For $15, a replacement belt, and a little cleanup, I would call this a huge win. These old featherweights have a reputation for reliability. They're still useful nearly a century after the design, and parts are readily available if something needs attention. And if your machine has a belt that looks as bad as this one, don't give up on it. It's probably one of the easiest repairs you can make. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.